We are saying hello to you. This is Cap and B here with another Command Labs, and today we are finally looking at the Manta class ship. Here's its guts spewed out on the floor. Ugh, gross. There is a lot to go over today. We have the oxygen reader that tells us the oxygen that the ship has in its tank. We have the oxygen filler that shows us the way that we fill the ship up, but also how you fill the oxygen for the person up. And then we also have how the ship moves. We're going to look into what exactly makes this ship special. What is different about this ship compared to other things? You may have seen something on YouTube like moving boats or cars or something like that, but most of the time those have an issue, and we're going to go over that as well. This ship has the ability to teleport to any station that it's close to just by holding this compass here. So we'll go over how that works as well. And that's about it. Let's get into it. Now, I just wanted to be clear first that in order to make all of this function in here, we will need a few prerequisites. So we'll need this bunny right in the middle. It'll need to be called ship if you're copying this tutorial exactly, unless you change ship when it's talking about tags to any other name. You'd have to change every tag though. So I think that's everything. And we will need to actually add that scoreboard from here on out for some other things. So that scoreboard, once again, to enter that command is scoreboard. We would do objectives, add oxygen 2, dummy, and then oxygen 2 again. When you put glowstone in this, it will automatically give the rabbit named ship oxygen 100. So actually all you need is the rabbit in there, and he has to be named ship, lowercase ship. Okay, so that's good. That is everything. The only thing you do need is the scoreboard command at the beginning, and I'll add that in the description later. Okay, whew. So with all that out of the way, all of these diamond blocks here are the command blocks from the last time. So we're just going to strip these away. That way we don't have to look at them, but we know where they are placed and relative to the other command blocks we're looking at here. This one is actually holding the rabbit in, so I'm going to go ahead and switch that with bedrock here so he doesn't get loose. And then we'll take this one out too. This one. And there's another one holding the rabbit in here on the other side, so we'll be careful not to let him out, because then that will break some of the stuff in the ship. Okay, so there we go. Those are the important parts there that we're going to be dealing with. Actually, this chest isn't important, and this dropper isn't important, so we'll break those as well. Okay, so these have to be in those exact locations. Unless you are familiar with how to change the location of those commands, then I wouldn't bother with that. I wouldn't mess around with that. Okay, so we have a couple of different components here. These are the things that are going to read the oxygen tank and give us that command there at the bottom of the screen that says ship's oxygen 300. It's going to know how much is in there. And then this is also, there's a command in here that will allow us to get oxygen from the ship actually being in. So this oxygen display on the right is actually oxygen number 1. It's not oxygen 2. And we have to keep that separate because otherwise it will display the wrong thing. So in another video, we'll get into the oxygen points and how that works, but not today. So we want to remove 20 points. Let's do 40. And notice what happens to the ship's oxygen on the bottom. Actually, we're going to up this to 80. You see it? It put it all into my person. So we also have a test against if it gets too low. So see, now I lost 80, but it didn't have enough to fill me up all the way. So now the ship's oxygen is at 0. Oh my gosh, what is happening?
Well, I mean,
Are you okay?
words. Yeah. Look, they like me. I made new friends.
Until you accidentally hit them.
Isn't this great?
One of them's outside! He's in space!
Well, they're space bees.
They better be.
I mean, they're great. Well, yeah, they're made for this environment. They're fine outside.
Mm.
But I do think we're gonna have to make another hive.
Definitely. This is not enough for one hive. Oh no. Oh,
I might have gone overboard just a little bit.
it's a good thing they're not weaponized right now. I better not hit
Right.
them.
I would never. Oh, yeah, that would be bad. Do you want a flower?
Oh goodness. Yes, please. Safety flower, please. Give me a safety flower.
I have one. Here you go. They might have ate it.
Okay. Whew. I'm safe. They won't harm me now. So,
Unless you hit them.
oh, true. Yeah, I'll try not to do that. Okay, no hitting. Okay, so let's look at the first
Come
system
on,
here
bees. Let's go.
for adding
This way, this
oxygen.
way.
So this is actually really fast. So as soon as we put glowstone in here, it'll instantly eat it up. But you should still be cautious. You don't want to click it too many times and then it might explode. So, wait,
Um,
huh?
that never happens. Explosion.
So we can look over here at this command line. There's 3 command blocks here that are detecting this and adding 100 oxygen to the system.
We're just waiting until they have a new home, and it's not so chaotic. They're on a leash. Okay, I'm gonna take them upstairs. Well, actually, I'm gonna leave a few so they can take notes. Okay, let's go. They're very good note takers.
We'll be quick, B. So just follow exactly what this says here, and then make sure the respawn anchors are in this exact location when you make it. Okay, so that's it for that one. The adding of the oxygen points to the ship. Okay, so this one will add oxygen to the players that are in the area. First, though, what it needs to do is check. It checks if their oxygen is below 80. So that's what this one does here. It checks if the oxygen is below 80 and it adds 0 oxygen to them. So basically what it's doing is it's just providing a check, and this is beneficial for a few reasons, but we won't get into those. So just copy it down, same as that. As well, if you have your players running off of oxygen or maybe a different currency, you'll want to make sure there's a scoreboard in place for that as well. So you could just do that by scoreboard objectives. Uh, add, then we want to do oxygen. Or we could do maybe the main currency for uh, the ship is money, something like that. So maybe you could just add money. Okay, but for now, we're just going to stick with the oxygen command. So you would do it like this. Oxygen, dummy, oxygen. Okay, then this one, it removes 20 from the ship. And you'll notice there's a little dot dot after the 20 in the oxygen 2. That's basically saying that if it's below 20, then don't take 20 from the ship because it can't do it. So copy that down. And then this one here. Now finally, it will add the 20 oxygen points to the player if the player is below 80. So 80 plus 20 is 100, so it will only ever heal the player up to 100 oxygen points. So you could increase this by maybe you want to do it to 180, maybe your oxygen tank holds 200 or something like that. You could do 180 there. But basically what this is doing is if the person gets below 100, then they won't. suffocate when they come into their ship, if they have ship available in the oxygen available in the ship, rather. Okay, so we're done with the oxygen adding system, so we can delete this part here and make sure the rabbit doesn't get out. So we have a hopper back here, you'll notice, with a special compass in it. We're getting close to the end. That's the coolest one, is the teleport one. But first we're going to look at this one. So what this command line does is it is making sure that if the ship is outside of the range of a space station, then it won't allow you to teleport into the space station. So we have this one here that says test for the entity, type rabbit, name station. So what this is doing is it's testing if it's close enough, if it's within 80 blocks, the radius of 80 here, to a rabbit named station. So we actually have, oh my goodness, what is that? What's that thing? It's an ice cream monster. Run away.
No,
Let's hide. Save me, rabbit. Save me.
the robot rabbit.
It can still make portals in space-time. Though it requires copious amounts of glowstone. Okay,
You're working on the teleporter?
maybe I should make it run off of ice cream. Almost on the teleporter. I am working on explaining the absence of the teleporter. How the ship knows not to
Oh,
teleport the person. Okay, so we will do a recap at the end of all the requirements in order to run the ship. We also need a rabbit over here that's named station. So make sure you create another rabbit that's named station if you're copying this line exactly, or if you don't care, you want to teleport to your space station anywhere in the map, then that doesn't really matter. Just leave this out. Okay. But first, let's go through it for all of those who want to know about that. So as soon as it gets within range of a rabbit, it will turn this on, which will give you an indicator that will play this sound. So this just says play this sound, basically right at the player that is in the cockpit. So it'll play the sound up here along this axis and right there. It'll play the sound. So there will be a little sound when it changes, or if it gets in range of the ship, you'll know. It'll make a sound like ding. Then this turns off. So basically, whatever this is the opposite. So this is active when we are not in range of the space station. So if we sent the ship out there somewhere, this would be active. But first, before we see what this is doing, we need to actually jump into the teleport system here. Okay, so we will leave the teleport system and the blast shield here for another time.